Yeah, we are live. Hey, thanks everybody for coming in. I know there's a lot of things to do on your Sunday, and I'm glad you're here with us. So far, we got 28. Hey, folks, if you wouldn't mind, hit that like button on the way in. It helps. It tells whatever algorithms are that we're live, and we're live earlier than I typically go because I'm on with my man Tag from Life Done Free, and he's got a he's got an engagement a little bit later, so I wanted to start early, folks. I'm as excited as a puppy with two Peters right now because what he's going to announce today is
He's got away with words, Billy.
well, hey, bro, I am excited. I am definitely excited because of folks everything that we've been talking about. I didn't realize that over the last I don't know 2 months now, I've been going on about how we need our own economy, how we need to be doing business with one another, how we need to be buying each other's stuff. And I've been trying to spotlight as many homesteaders as possible to get this ball rolling. Mm-hmm. Now, I had been given hints that this sort of thing was going on. And in fact, a number of different people were saying, hey, I'm working on a platform or I'm working on another platform. I bet I was hit by 8 or 9, maybe 10 different people when it's all said and done about their efforts in trying to get a platform off and running where there's no censorship in terms of what we want to say and where I can talk to other people like us and do it in an environment to where I don't have to worry about some Silicon Valley lunatic scrubbing me or my content away from the whole platform. That's what we're going to get into. But first of all, let me give a shout out to some of you people who showed up early. Right off the bat. And like I said, if you're coming in, y'all hit that thumbs up. It costs you nothing. Lucy, thank you so much. Sylvia, No Lame Bull, Mary. Let's see here. Let's see if I can scroll through here without screwing this thing up. MJ, Midwest Rabbi, Storm Rider, Eagle Lover, Texas, Colleen, Monica. Thanks, y'all, for giving a shout out of where you're from. But it's going to get even better when you find out. It's pretty awesome that everybody's giving a shout out of where you're from. I'm thanking y'all for doing that. But you're going to find out that there is even a better way of doing that. So I couldn't be more excited. Pete the Squatchy, Corleen, sorry if I got that wrong. Nikki, Jane, Amy Lynn, Mitchell, Renewed Homestead. Yeah, we're going to talk about an event they got coming up here before long. Mm-hmm. Sandy, my name isn't Ryan. Hey, what's up, buddy? Haven't heard from you in a while. I still got that dish I got to get back to you. Sorry, bro. Carolyn, Joel, Joshua, Christine. Okay, Kip. Yeah. Let's see. I'll go to the bottom of the list here. Prepper Survival. Yeah. Farmstead Ship. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that first one, y'all. Sandy. Sorry. Lucy, Steve, Carlene. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here tonight. Cindy, Pete. Like I said, if you're coming in, I'm going to say this over and over again. Hit that like button because this is probably the most important broadcast I've ever done on this platform concerning what we're going to discuss tonight. And folks, I can't begin to tell you how excited I am because for the longest time now, I've been saying we have got, and my plan was to get as many homesteaders together as I could and use the current platforms that we have, even though we're hated on these platforms, to promote what we have. Because I'm sick and tired of dealing with lunatics in these box stores. I'm sick and tired of dealing with people that hate my guts. I go in there wearing a shirt like this today. This time I wasn't wearing I wear a shirt like this, and the evil looks I get, I'd never get from the people that are right now on this feed. So you are the people I want to do business with. You are the people that I want to talk to. You are the people that I want to associate with. And I know for a fact, because I get a lot of your emails and stuff, that you feel the same way about me and also Tag. Now, I'm going to quit monologue here in a minute, and I want everybody, because you may not be aware of him. He has a YouTube channel that you have got to check out, but he's also got some important news. But before we get into that, Tag, why don't you tell everybody about yourself and what brought you to this work? Tell everybody your background because it's extraordinary, and please don't forget to tell them how you and your wife live out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they call me Tag. It's a long story how I got that name. I used to play professional paintball as a young man. And I'm kind of an entrepreneur. First company I opened was a little paintball store so I could play for almost free, called Tag Factor Paintball. Anyway, that's how I got my name. But my background is I have worked or had worked for 25 years as a financial executive. I helped startup companies form. So a holding company would form a whole bunch of other companies, and I'd go in and help raise all their money, put all their processes in, all that kind of stuff. Done 13 of them now, and all of them about $100 million, something like that, a little bit better. But anyway, there was one in particular I ended up owning a pretty good chunk of, and man, it was great. We built it from just an idea to $150 million, and everything was fine till 2020 came around, and I had gotten an email from our CEO, and he said, "Hey, how do you feel about us mandating the thing?" And I said, "No, I'm not supportive in any way. I think it violates HIPAA. I am not interested. I will not comply." And about a week later goes by, and he says, "Okay, we're going to mandate it. You have 30 days to get all the employees to do this." Well, that was kind of the end for me. So I came home, told my wife, we're going to head into a different path. And, a week later, the CEO called and said, "What's the status?" And I told him I wasn't going to do it. And he said he expected more out of a leader, and that my time as the company and my role in the company was done. And, when that happened to me, I kind of sat back and just realized, like, it hit me upside the head that I'm a slave. I'm insignificant. I don't matter. And I'm a slave. I'm completely disposable, even though, Bud, I ran the company. I mean, I built this company from nothing to $150 million. And so I just started thinking to myself, how can I remove the stroke that all of these places have over me? And I mean, literally, I'm a numbers guy. So I sat down and, talked about debt, and talked about energy, and talked about water, and talked about, all of the things that have stroke over us. So I took all of my resources, all of my retirement, everything I had. I bought a piece of land, went 100% off grid. I have my own power supply. We call it the Freedom Electrical Co-op. My water comes in from 3 different sources. I have a big 2-acre pond. I've got a well, and I've got 7,700 gallons of rainwater. So everything we do here, we produce for ourselves. I have zero debt in life. Takes almost nothing to live, which is the way I wanted it, right? Because I wanted to, break all of those things. So I'm loving it, man. I'm living a dream. I get up every day and go, what do I want to do today? And so it's pretty cool. So anyway, that's my story.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. Some of you might remember I've interviewed Tag in the past, and he's an extraordinary guy along with the people that he works with. And I've had the pleasure to get to know him and a number of the people that he's associated with, and we'll get into that in a minute. Now, I want to, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, y'all, once again, please hit that thumbs up. Tell other people we're live, because this is legit. This is probably the most important announcement that I think I've ever done on this channel, and we're going to get to that in a moment. A while back, I was talking to Denise from Renewed Homestead, and this was, I don't know, it was a while back, and we were talking about the different events that were coming up. And I think it was she that said it to me that, there really needs to be a place where all these events would be listed in one place. There really needs to be a place. Somebody has got to do this. And then I think I told her that, hey, I know people said they were working on it. And there were a number of people working on it, you being one of them. And I got to say, bro, man, I'm not going to tease this anymore. You've already seen me. If you've seen anything on my community page, or if you listen to the Permaculture Pimpcast, which, by the way, you can listen to our podcast, we announced it there, what's going on. Now, they created a site, and I'm going to let Tag get totally into it, but y'all, I have had the chance at this point to kick the tires on this thing, so to speak. And I got to say, years ago, I was involved in Facebook, got out of there, won't have anything to do with it. I have not had another involvement with any social media until William roped me into doing YouTube, which I went into kicking and scratching. And then lately I got myself into Truth Social, which in my view was just a massive disappointment. And then all of a sudden, when these guys told me about what they came up with, Tag and his partners, I was like, I'll be honest with y'all, I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be more of the same. And so I actually got on there. And like I said, I have only kicked the tires and took it for a test drive. And I got to say that what you guys have come up with is the answer to everything I was unwittingly promoting for the last 2 months. So why don't you tell everybody what you guys came up with, Tag?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to note, Billy, that I'm a great listener, and it's it's something that I think is critical in business. And so as time over these last year has gone on, I mean, you've been preaching this for a long time, Billy. I listened. Guys like Jack Spirko, I listened. When we talk about breaking the chains and getting rid of the stroke, it goes far beyond just my homestead. Right? I'm not done. I'm only getting started. I mean, they pissed me off, and so I do. We decided, with I have the right influences in my life, and I know the right people, that we were going to try to put together a social media platform that was designed specifically around homesteaders, off-gridders, and people living that self-sustainable life. And we named it Freesteading, obviously, free man, right? On purpose, because I believe that all prepping leads to homesteading. And, a lot of people talk about this, right? Because you can only store so much food, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to end up on a homestead. If you stay down the road, you'll end up on there someday. But I think there's another step beyond that, which is taking control of where your supply comes from. Billy, you talk all the time about growing your own food for your animals. This is freesteading. This is what I'm talking about right here. We as a community can break the chains. We can get rid of the stroke, and we can tell the world to piss off. I'm telling you, we can do it. So anyway, I happen to know one of my very best friends in the world is a guy that spent 16 years in psychological operations for the United States Army. And the whole time he was in there, he was building apps for the iTunes store and websites and, things like this. And the guy is just amazing. He brings this weird combination together, and him and I sat down and decided that we were going to build this site. And so we built it, we just built it, and it's there and it's live, and, you can go play with it right now. It's freesteading.com. You go in there and register. A couple important things in there. First thing is I believe in privacy. I believe in freedom to live the life according to your own terms. As long as you're not removing my rights, I don't care how you live. Don't bother me in the least. And so one of the big criteria was when you go to register, we ask for two things: an email and a username. Now, both of these are important because I need them to operate the site. Nowhere in there is a requirement you give us any other information. Now, there's places in there that'll ask you for your state if you want to put it in there, and that's so that we can get the communities together, right? So someone can say, hey, who's in South Carolina? Hey, who's in Georgia? Hey, who's in wherever? Well, if you don't give me the state, I can't put them in a box, and therefore. But so as far as that goes, it was kind of, we took a look at Facebook, because Facebook's kind of the grandfather of all of it, right? I mean, there's a lot of people on Facebook. A lot of people still use Facebook. So you'll notice the functionality is similar. But we also looked at Twitter and Instagram. We looked at all of them and tried to figure out, could we bring all of it to one site?
And you did.
And we really did. Yeah, we did. And so, I don't know if that answered your question to everybody, but yeah, we built a social media platform called Freesteading, and I'm hoping that it does. My primary goal in it is to spread freedom. It's my goal. It's been my goal. I took the life thing on, when they made me mad and said that I was worthless and I didn't mean anything and I was replaceable, and said, all right, guys, we'll see, and
that's exactly what I'm talking about, man. That's why I am so doggone excited when, Bobby's a good friend of mine, Bobby Spags, Spags Unfiltered. In fact, he's in the thread right now. And thanks everybody for all the very kind words. My man Glenn, he's in there too. Glenn, you got to check it out. Look, man, when you came up with this was the answer to all of, I can't believe what you guys did as far as being able to put the state you're from. You still keep some anonymity, which whether you're a preparedness person or whether you're a person that likes your privacy, like you said, all you need is they're not asking any private information. And if you so choose, you can put in whatever state. So now all of a sudden we have enclaves that we could have within this site of people that can create their own gatherings, create whatever. When I saw that feature alone, I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. This is fantastic. And then when I saw also your calendar, now there were a couple of minor glitches that are being corrected right now, you told me, where you can actually post, like Ben and Denise have at Renewed Homestead, they have a gathering coming up, and I have yet to put it in there. But like, for example, I got my calendar here, y'all. And this is basically how I've been governing, because I got a lot of events coming up after this year. I'm not sure how many more I'm going to do. But yeah, you got the Back to the Land Festival coming up. And guess what? It was already on the calendar in this place. You got the Self-Reliance Festival coming up on the 1st and 2nd. The day before that is going to be the swale class. It's part 2 of the swale class that I did. That's also on there. The Farm Where You Live event that's going to be in Tennessee on the 15th and 16th. That's going to be there. And then the one coming up very soon, the Toe River Campground in Burnsville, North Carolina. Ben and Denise from Renewed Homestead are putting that on, and that's on the 22nd. And by the way, if you just before I forget, I'll put the contact information down below if you want to do that. As far as you want to, the point being, what I'm trying to get to, man, this sun's screwing me all up. Can you see me, Tag?
I see you fine.
Okay. So everybody forgive the little pastel setting, it's adding to the, yeah, maybe it makes me look a little bit better. I'm down some weight. So maybe that's adding to it. Maybe it makes me look another 10 pounds lighter, but the point being is that in this thing, not only do you have the ability to discuss things with people that are in the state you're in, or maybe they're in a neighboring state, or maybe you live in a place like Kansas City where you're between 2 states, or a place like, let's say, Texarkana, but where between Texas and Arkansas, or the Arklatex area that you're down by there. You can now, all of us feel isolated to a certain extent, which is what the powers that shouldn't be want us to feel like. And with a site like this, not only do you have access, you can go to the calendar, look at whatever event, find the people that are in your area, and then you have all these different community groups, which I'm part of, and I am floored. I mean, as far as the responsiveness of the site, I expected this thing to be as glitchy as some of the other ones that went out there. I got to say, man, you guys knocked it out of the park. I mean, it knocked my junk into my watch pocket when I saw how awesome this thing could be navigated, because anybody that knows me knows I am the world's biggest Luddite. And if I can find my way around this thing, then surely anybody else could, because they always laugh at me around here, Tag, that I can barely operate this phone that I have. But somehow I was able to operate on this. Why don't you tell them what all the features are, with the ones you can think of on this thing? Because it is, as you said, an amalgamation of all the best things of the platforms that currently exist. And tell me if I'm wrong on this.
Yeah, I think it is. So I guess just start at the top. So when you begin, you'll go to what's a news feed, right, or an activity stream. And so basically it works just like Facebook does. Somebody posts, somebody posts, somebody posts, somebody posts, somebody posts. And so you just got the stream of stuff going on. Now, today it's set to where everybody sees everything. Now, that won't last long. And it won't last long because it's going to get to be white noise. At some point, we have to figure out a way to slow that down. And, like, for example, you'll only see the posts of the groups you're part of, or the community leaders you're subscribed to, things like that, in order to do that. But anyway, so that'd be the first. It's really modeled after Facebook. That's really where it comes into. The next section is the community section. And so this site was built around a handful of community leaders. Billy, you're one of them, right? And we're going to continue to vet. And this has actually been an interesting topic, Billy. You and I've talked about this recently. We're going to continue to vet community leaders and make sure that the people that get on there are living it, that actually do it every single day, but we're still got a long ways to work through that. How do we exactly do that? So today there's 8 of them, 8 community leaders on there. We're hoping to grow that, as time goes on. Now, this is where you can interact directly in those groups. So you guys can go to Freesteading, go to the community page, and interact with Billy's group and talk to Billy and talk to the people that are on there about the things that are specific to Billy. There's also a section in there called forums. This one's really important. This one I'm very, very excited about. So when you go on a forum, let's say we want to talk about what's the best tomato in Louisiana, or what's the best, what is the best deer repellent, Billy? This is a great question, right? Right. And so what's going to happen is we continue to populate all of these answers. When you come in and you say, hey, I'm struggling, I'm on a homestead, how do I get this electric fence charger to work? You can just type it in there and every answer will come up. And it will also populate Google. It'll populate all of these things, as we get the information in there, but it'll work just like a traditional forum of the 90s. Remember the old forums prior to all the social media stuff? So it has both social media and it has the forums. Next section will be events. This is something we're trying to work through. It's a little bit glitchy, meaning the months just kind of run together. It's just not clean enough yet. We're working on it to get it squared away. But this is where, let me quote Deb, my good friend Deb. And Deb, you met her the other day, Billy. And Deb said, oh my gosh, Tag, This is going to be like Las Vegas, the city that never sleeps. And she said it perfectly. This will be a place where everything that's going on, Billy's got a live show today, or the SOE, Self-Reliance Festival is going on, or the Midwest Preparedness Project is going on. We'll be able to put all of this together, guys, because we've got to figure out how to stand together. I'm super excited about this function. Obviously, there's a profile page. You can add as much information in there as you want. Member search. So there's a search bar right on the front of the activity stream and also in the member search. But you can go in there right now today and type, I live in Kansas, type Kansas. Everybody that wanted to put it in there will come up. Anybody that put Kansas in, you're going to find out about it. But here within, I would argue that by midweek, the state pages will be up. They're well into development, and we're still doing some testing on them, but there will actually be state-specific pages too, where if you just want to go talk to people in South Carolina, you just go to the South Carolina page and have yourself a ball. And so that's coming very, very soon. The VIP section. So it's not really turned on yet. A lot of us, Billy is involved in this, trying to figure out how we offer real value, real experts, real stuff. How do we qualify that? How do we vet that? Because I don't want it to turn into something other than it to be being pure. So there will be coming soon. There'll be VIP sections where, you guys can, get access to courses, permaculture courses, for example, or, how to build a whatever, type of class. The next session, there will be what's called a roadmap. And that roadmap tells you what's coming. And I'll give you guys some announcements. So one of the things we've been working hard on is the app. So it's all been funded. It's in development. Actually, I've been kind of getting delayed for a Dun & Bradstreet number. I don't know if you know what that is or not, but that's kind of been a holdup I've been trying to get through with because I do the business side of it. But anyway, it's under development. So pretty quick, you'll be able to get it right on your phone. And there'll be an app actually for freesteading.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. And then finally, the thing that I personally am the most excited about, because I hate the stroke that goes on in the world, is the marketplace. We want to build literally a virtual marketplace where you can virtually walk up to Billy Bond's front store, open the door, walk in, say, "What's up, brother? Give me some bone sauce." That's where we're headed. Now, the cool thing about this is, the bone sauce and Billy, that's one piece from a community, but imagine all of the needs that a homestead has. I buy stuff all the time, whether it's a salt block, a hoe, a tool to tie up a tomato plant, whatever it is, that if we could fill all of those different voids, Billy, we could create that economy. We could create it right here in a little place called freesteading.
That's what I'm talking about, brother.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm so doggone excited. I'm having a hard time phrasing my questions, but here's what I want to ask you.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, I got some friends right now. You know what? I'm just going to say her name. I'll ask for forgiveness later. She sent me this soap in the mail. Yep. Two Old Crows Homestead. It is the best soap I've ever put on this body, brother. Yep. And believe me, I don't buy Irish Spring. Mm-hmm. So she's got something of a budding exposure on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Would she have an opportunity? And would everybody else, let's say, in this feed and otherwise, what would that look like? So let's say she's got this budding soap business and she, like so many other people, are looking to quit their 9-to-5 and then get into homesteading, not only to grow their food at the house, which they're already doing, but at the same time, maybe maintain a business to get them out of the grind like you and I are. I mean, you left the matrix a while ago as far as working for other people. I've done the same thing. And so is the rest of my family. It didn't happen overnight, but conceivably with this idea that you've come up with, I could see people amplify their ability to do that. And they could within this marketplace. Tell me what that looks like, where let's say she's got this soap business, doesn't know where to start. How would she interact with this website? How would she get that off and running?
Yeah, so I think we're going to have to build a marketplace in several stages. I think first it starts out kind of as a buy-sell trade group, right? That was something you would traditionally see. But I think as the marketplace, comes on, I love capitalism. Always have, always will. I love free enterprise. I had a guy call me, Billy, a couple days ago and say, "Hey, Tag, you need to maybe not do this. There's other people with more money than you doing it." I'm like, why do I care? Bring it on, tough guy. Yeah. It's not the big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow, and you can't keep up, I can assure you. So I love that. So, I mean, I think what I really envision is the long game for this is, again, a virtual town with Main Street and First Street and Elm Street and Oak Street and, a business on every corner. And then if we as a community can come together and say, hey, I want to buy soap. Soap. Oh, okay. Well, we've got 2 Old Crows and we've got 1 Young Crow store on the 2 different sides of town. What do they got? How much do they cost? What's shipping? Right? Let them compete.
Right.
I'm all in. I'm all in.
That. Brother, I'm all about that. I want to say, give a shout out to my friends. They were talking last night, Deep South Homestead, also Black's Tropical Homestead. You're in the house too. I noticed y'all signed up on the platform. Look, y'all, tell everybody you know what's going on over there. This isn't some infomercial, y'all. This is what I've been hoping and praying would happen forever and a day. I was talking with Danny from Deep South about it. We were just kind of milling it back and forth. I've been involved in some things before where I'm like, man, I don't know. Let me kick the tires on this thing. And I told Danny, I said, man, I can't believe what they did. I really can't believe what they did here. You have everything. How is it you guys made a platform that's better than Truth Social? I mean, honestly, it is better. I've been there. It's better than when I used to be on Facebook years ago. It's better than that. It's more responsive. People can speak to you privately. They can speak to you in these forums. I don't know how you guys did it. And even if you explained it to me, I wouldn't understand it anyway. All I know is that you currently have a website that is balling, and your opening page there is start here. And you're explaining right there from the ground up how this thing works. So is it to a point right now? Are we at a point right now where people can literally sign up, tell their friends and family about it, have them sign up? Because honestly, I'm about to put a notice on, I listed it on Truth Social. I'm about to get off of there because frankly, I'm working from dawn till dusk as it is right now. And the advantage to somebody like me is that I can consolidate a lot of what I currently do and what my family currently does within this platform. That's ultimately where I can see me going, where I'm not there yet, where all the people that subscribe on Patreon, maybe there's an option someday in the future to get over to this, because there's things about that platform I'm not crazy about. But I understand this thing has to grow. It has to get some legs. But I got to say, man, I am absolutely floored. Y'all, sorry, these questions are going by so doggone fast. And I'm sorry if I'm missing some of them. Okay, somebody asked, what's the shelf life of bone sauce? If you keep it at room temperature, it'll last forever and a day, but you got to use it. Make that stuff work. Let me see if anybody's got some questions. If you got any, folks, put them on here. Deep South says they're so glad to be part of the freestanding community. And look, y'all, that's saying something, because he's one of the wisest men I know. And he doesn't easily give himself to any newfangled idea that comes out. And honestly, if I wasn't aware of the fidelity of the people involved in this, the answer would have been no right off the bat. Because a little side note tag before I go back to you.
Yes, sir.
Every other day, once we hit about 50,000 subscribers, every other day there's people coming up to me. I'm probably going to monologue a little bit longer, but this is important, y'all. I really want to get this out. Every other day I'm getting offers through the email asking me to advertise something. And you look at the fine print, and I'm like, well, send it to me. I'll check it out. If it's worthy, look, I'm telling you right now, if it's jacked up, I'm going to tell everybody. If it works, I'll tell everybody. Well, as you can see, to this day, the only product, in fact, any products that I've endorsed, they didn't come to me. I went to them because it's something I already use, and I know that it works. That's why when I went to EMP Shield and just happened to have friends that worked there that I didn't know about, I'm like, okay, I'm a journeyman electrician, been at this a long, long time. Y'all give an offer that nobody can match. You have a product that if something blows up in my house from a lightning storm, you guarantee it. So I'm not a person that's easily given to any Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes along. In fact, the latest thing that goes on right now is that there's a lot of, because I'm one of the few brown people. Look, I know people in this forum didn't care about I could look like Barney the Purple Dinosaur, and I know you wouldn't care. But there's a lot of leftists out there that come to me with their hats in their hands saying, man, it would really give it a lot of gravitas to a thing if you would advertise this thing. Well, they get to looking at my YouTube channel and they find out that I'm not some lunatic leftist and I'm not a person on the right. I'm like Tag. I'm a free man. I'm a free man, and I march to my own drum, and I'm not buying into any of your left-right political paradigm garbage.
Yep.
And the second they find out, they don't want to do business with me. Folks, I've turned down thousands and thousands of dollars because not only do they not want to do business with me, I don't want to do business with them because I am not going to lend my time, effort, money, whatever else. I'd rather be the poorest dirt farmer in the middle of these mountains than do business with these lunatics. That's why over and over and over again, I've been saying out there and pleading every Sunday when I've been doing these lives lately, we have got to do business with each other. We have got to have somebody come up with a platform that makes all this stuff come together and make it make sense. Lo and behold, Tag, I think you cracked the nut. And by the way, folks, if you're coming on the way in right now, please hit that thumbs up. Everybody needs to know about what's going on here. There is the only way. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up here, and I ain't making no money on this. I want all of us to be over on this platform. I am champion. This is the best thing since sliced bread, and that's why I said I am as happy. I can't remember I've been more excited to do a live stream because this is the answer to all the problems I've been screaming from the rooftop about. Tag, what else can they expect from this thing? I'm sorry to monologue for so long, but I'm saying for those of us who are not in the left-right paradigm, this is the answer to so many things.
Yeah, I think if you ask the people that built it, hey, why did you build it? I think all of them would give you the same answer and yet kind of a different answer, and what motivates them and those kind of things. I don't care about the Republicans. I don't care about them. I don't care about either one of them. I think they all need to get voted out. And, I think that system's broken. And I think the only way we can combat this is I really think what we have to do is we have to vote with our dollar. We have to decide, make a conscious effort. It's funny, my beautiful bride will drive. If I'm wintertime, I'm out of tomatoes. She'll drive to 5 stores to find a tomato made in America, right? Because that's just the way we're going to live. We're just going to do it that way. And so I think we got to get committed to trying to do business with each other. I think it's really critical to all of this. I had somebody come on the Freesteading platform earlier today, this morning, and said to me, it sure seems to be a lot of white people here.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What do you call me? What do you call me, man? I mean,
well, I had to tell them that the Mongolian slave driver, my bride, who's Mongolian, writes all the checks. Just saying. But she has the power of the purse. So for me, it's really about spreading freedom. It's about trying to take over that economy a little bit. It's about not, taking down what people say or what they think. As long as you're decent. Now, I'm not going to put up, I promise you, if someone gets in there and calls, somebody an asshole or something like that, I'm going to, hey, knock it off. And then I'm going to shut it down because there's just no need for that. If we self-police, we don't have to regulate anything. We don't have to. Let's just self-police it. And I think it'll be fine. I think what you're going to see from Freesteading going forward is we're going to take all of these paradigms and we're going to try to really push it to the next level. As I mentioned in the marketplace, starting in the beginning with a buy, sell, trade, but ending in a virtual town, and just continue to take that on, continue to take that on, continue to take that on. At some point in time, it will end up, and I know because I know the people behind all of this, pushing this, who, by the way, guys, I'm going to tell you something. I get a lot of the credit because I'm the face, and here we are talking to Billy. But the fact of the matter is this was left in my arms, it would still be an idea. Just a fact. If I didn't have the input from people like Billy and from Danny and from all these other channels, if I didn't have the guy behind the scenes actually making the button work, right? If I didn't have, Grumpy Acres and Hacks for the Homestead and Spags, Bobby Spags, he was just an absolute horse, do whatever you need him to do. He'll do it 100 miles an hour and he'll do it every single time. So anyway, we're going to keep pushing the paradigm. And I want all the feedback we can get. To your previous question, the system is live. Everybody can use it. Everybody can share it. It's free. It will always be free, period. I can't charge for a website I charge called Freeman, right? It's free. We will have paid content right in there, but it's live. But I want to tell you guys something. It is still in beta. I am still making sure everything works correctly. Bill, you brought up the calendar. So just allow me to make a mistake or two as we go through these next few months and it'll be just fine. Go ahead, Billy. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, brother. It's just, Glenn, I started laughing. He said, hold up, Billy's black. No, look, y'all, I'm making bones about the fact that I'm a Christian American, heterosexual, pro-gun, liberty-minded person, and I don't subscribe to this garbage. And honestly, going back to Bobby from Spags Unlimited, And also, Danny, honestly, I wouldn't have even considered being a part of this unless I knew, because I'm not gonna let I work really hard for my reputation.
Yeah.
I know the content that I put out is worthy and worthwhile. And if it didn't already have the endorsement of people that I know and trust right off the bat, like Bobby, um, and from oh shoot, hang on a sec, I got to unplug here, or a plug that's going unplugged. If I didn't have the endorsement of other people that I've known for years, Darren from Hacks for the Homestead, friends of mine from way back, and I'm aware when I knew those guys were on board, and I'm like, man, they're like, take a look at, consider this. I'll be honest with you, until I kicked the tires on this thing, I was like, I don't know, man. I'm the last person on earth. I am already up to my eyeballs in so many things. But like they say, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. Right. And when I saw this thing, I took yesterday to kind of chill out a little bit, and I got on this thing, and I'm like, okay. I told Michelle, I said, you got to get on here. I said, if I can navigate my way around here, and there's so many awesome bells and whistles where, like I talked about in the beginning, where Denise from Renewed Homestead was talking about, man, there really ought to be a place where all this stuff exists. Mm-hmm. How has nobody ever done it? And I'm like, good night, man. When I finally kicked the wheels on this thing, bro, I am floored. If for no other reason than having a place where a person can go, because one of the biggest things that we suffer with in this community is every time I go to an event, somebody's saying to me, man, I didn't find out about this thing till today. Or they let me know a week later, man, had I known this thing was here, I would have signed up. There was a guy in Camden, Tennessee who lives there, who had been writing to us forever and a day and didn't find out till the day of the actual event. Mm-hmm. So here it is. People can get, no matter where you live, you can find, because a lot of people in this community feel marginalized, and you feel, what's the word? You feel isolated. Mm-hmm. And whenever I go to these events, I feel less isolated, Tag. Mm-hmm. Whenever I go to any of these events, even though I don't have time to do it a lot of times, there's a part of me that doesn't want to leave because I love the people I'm around. Mm-hmm. And now I can have the advantage of that without joining some platform that's run from the left, or another platform that's run from the right, or some platform by some executive that's living in some ivory tower somewhere telling me that I can't say this and I can't say that. So I got to ask you straight up, because I don't know that I've ever actually asked you this. I want to ask, is this going to be a free speech? Can people say what they want without fear of being blacklisted or kicked off?
Yeah, so I want to say that if you look into the terms and conditions that you agree to when you sign onto the site, what it really talks about, there's really two main issues: violence and hate speech. That's it. But here's the thing. I don't want to create rules. We have enough rules in our world. What I'm hoping is we can build a family that will kind of self-police, because we are vulnerable, Billy. I don't own everything that goes on in this, right? There's servers out there that are being paid for. Now the goal is to buy all of our own servers and all of those kind of things, but I'm not there today. So is it a free speech platform? Yeah. If you want to get in there and disagree with me, we're going to get along just fine. You want to get in there and tell somebody that they're worthless, you want to beat on somebody verbally inside the site, I will shut it down.
Okay. But if some person, let's say, gets in there and, okay, let's say it's a, man, I better not say that. Hey, real quick, y'all, if you're just getting in, hit that thumbs up. It tells everybody that we're live. I know that a lot of people are going to see this after the fact, but this is the most consequential thing that I've done in a very, very long time. In fact, I don't know that I've ever done anything more consequential than opening this up. Now, back to the free speech thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, besides calling for violence and besides hate speech, let's say there's a person that comes from a different faith. Okay. Let's say it's a Muslim person. Let's say it's a Buddhist person. Let's say it's some trans-testicle polar bear that identifies as a human, or the other way around. Will these people have a home there? I mean, because frankly, at the end of the day, I don't, like you said in the very beginning, Tag, I don't care what you do as long as you ain't harming another person. I really don't care. Are those people going to feel welcome in there?
Yep. I'll even go a step further. Liberals, conservatives, Republicans in general. any of them, if you can be respectful, you have a home. Because at the end of the day, I will sit down with a Muslim, a Hindu, a Buddhist. I would actually like to ask some questions by someone who wouldn't take offense to my stupidity. I'm in. I mean, I would love nothing more than to get into a debate with a super liberal on a couple topics that are going on, like the college loan stuff, and have an articulate conversation trying to understand the other person's point of view. I will welcome it every single day.
So what I'm hearing, man, is that this thing is going to be, well, it was a rhetorical question, I know, because you're wearing a hat that says free man, and you got a site that's freesteading. So I know this thing is going to be off the hook, folks. If you have any questions out there, I want you to go ahead and list them right now, because this is the person to ask right now at this point in time. And if you're new, sign up. I mean, wait, finish the live stream that we have here. What other things, Tag? What other advantages? Let me say it this way. What's the number one motivation for somebody? And this is another rhetorical question. What's the other motivation for somebody to want to go there and sign up at this?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of different motivations. But for me, if I was a homesteader or wanting to be a homesteader, it would be two parts. One, I get to interact with people who live it every single day, and I get to learn, because Danny, you know as well as I know, the lessons that you've learned over your journey took years to learn. You just didn't walk onto a homestead one day and say, hey, man, I'm going to grow that moringa tree. Hey, not how it really works. You got to get your ass kicked a whole bunch, and to learn it. So I think knowledge is part of it. But I think the other side is the sense of community, which is what you talked about before. I didn't mention this before, but 100% of the people involved in the creation of freesteading is either a freesteader, an off-grid liver, someone into self-sufficiency. There is no outside sources beyond that right there. And so I guess if I had to pick one answer, it'd be community.
Okay, so speaking of community, okay, I hit things from a multiple perspective, like permaculture is, my passion.
Yep.
And let's say, obviously, I'm there, so clearly there's going to be a home for that. So it looks like if you're into preparedness, will there be forums for that? If you're into, frankly, I think you ought to be into all of it right now. Strictly gardening, I imagine you're going to have everything for every interest a person could possibly imagine. Okay, so
that's the goal.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is where the community comes in. That's so important. The more we can fill those forum categories, right? Because we're so new, the more of that information goes on there, the better we're going to be able to help. So that someday someone can come in and say, how do I repel a deer? How do I grow comfrey? How do I, I got, corn schmut on my corn this year. What happened? Whatever it is, we can help all of these people in their quest to live free. And Danny, if we can get everybody living free, we're all going to win. We're going to take a whole bunch back.
I don't know if you realize, bro, you called me Danny, but that's okay. He's my brother anyway, man. I'm sure we all look the same.
Yeah, right.
It's all good, bro. I'm just messing with you, Tag. And Glenn has a good point here. Toughest part is going to be to keep the feds out. Well, what's your solution for that? Because clearly some COINTELPRO moron is going to roll up in there. Yeah. That's another question, but address it, please.
Billy, no, you know what? At the end of the day, we're not. Right? I mean, at the end of the day, we're not. That's the answer. They're going to get in there. They're going to snoop around. They're going to do those things. There's nothing I can do to stop it. There is some vulnerabilities, and I was talking about this before, but here's the thing. If somebody came on, let me tell you my perfect world, right? Cotton candy and rainbows, unicorn dust, fairy dust world. Somebody comes on and starts talking about violence. The very best thing that could happen is 27 community members jump on them and tell them to knock it off. Bang. If you as a community leader, Billy, and me as a community leader, and Danny as a community leader can build a culture that looks out for each other, I think maybe we can get through it at least to a point where we can begin to buy more servers and be able to do some of that stuff to take a little more control. But to answer your question, we're not going to stop it.
Okay, well, that's exactly what I mean. Look, y'all, we can come up with a thousand reasons as to why something like this could fall flat on its face. I don't believe it is. I am so excited about where this thing can go and what it might lead to, and the ability, like Miss Wanda said. I think if I got it right, it's a. I think it's like Miss Wanda said, where it could consolidate some of the work that we already do. Because as a content creator, I try to put out, and I know Deep South does, they're dear friends of ours. We try to put out the best content possible. Well, that takes time, but we don't spend a whole lot of time. At least I know William up there doesn't spend a whole lot of time in editing. It's more about how to, because I see things falling apart, but at the same time, I see this opportunity. Hang on one sec, Tag.
You got it, man.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering what just happened there. But I see this opportunity. If we don't take it now, I don't see anybody ever taking it. That opportunity that we have, even in a virtual realm, because right now, nothing like this exists. I know there's other platforms out there, and I've been to them, but they have nowhere near the capability or the reach that this could potentially have. And folks, those of you out there that are thinking, "Oh, okay, I don't know if this is for me," look, that's up to you. But if you want to feel less isolated in this world, if you want to feel less alone, that was the problem I had with going. And I'm not dogging the platform. That was the problem I had going to. I figured I needed some sort of social media presence because William runs whatever we have in Instagram. I don't know anything about it, but he runs it. But I was thinking I probably better have some presence out there. So I went to Truth Social. And I got to be honest with you. Overwhelmingly, the people that I'm looking to interact with aren't there. They're people from a political realm, and I'm not in this left-right paradigm. And I'm thinking, okay, the whole notion of going over here, I posted a couple of videos of, something that was farm or permaculture related. Frankly, got no legs whatsoever. So why am I even in that community? Why wouldn't I or anybody else being a community where I can either commiserate on a bad day, say, hey, man, this is all screwed up, I can't stand it. Or I can say, hey, y'all, look at the bumper crop of blueberries I got out here today.
Right.
And have people in that area that could say, hey, okay, well, here's how I solved this problem, because I frankly don't have all the answers. Or, hey, man, I'm sorry your blueberry harvest didn't come in. Why don't you come over to my crib? I'll hook you up with some of what I have in exchange for some of the sweet potatoes you got.
That's right. That's what I want right there.
That's what I'm hoping for, bro. And this is what I've been screaming from the rooftops that we need. But I don't have the technical know-how. I don't have the prowess to know how to do any of this. You guys have cracked that nut, man. And folks, if you're not on there, get on there. If you want to have these kinds of, it's going to be a struggle, I'm sure, at first. Tag, am I wrong to think that there's going to be some growing pains in this?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go out of my way to say we're still beta, because there are, every couple of days someone says, hey, I noticed this, and then we got to go in there and figure out how to deal with it. But I would say it's a 99% solution right now. And it will handle a heavy workload. We have tested. This was been in testing for months, trying to get it all in. And now we've got 1,000 people interacting on there in just a few days. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of how this, kind of grows. And I'm excited,
I am too, man. I was on the phone with Danny from Deep South yesterday. We were talking about a great many things, but I told him right there, I said, Danny, this thing is like the Cadillac. I have a little understanding of some of these other platforms, but I told him, I said, bro, I don't examine this thing. And to me, this thing is a Cadillac. This has everything I wished we would have. A future marketplace, a calendar of events, a centralized, I'm not really for centralized anything except for a list of events,
right,
when they're going to happen. I couldn't be more happy about it, bro. So so people are signing up, I'm sure, in droves right now. You're going to work out the bugs. Is there a way, what is the best way for people to let other people know about it? Should they go to the social media platforms they're currently on, or is it word of mouth?
Yeah,
all that's the realm of what I know.
All of it. I think just word of mouth works good, but I think on your social media platforms, put a link out there. Talk about it. Encourage people to come over. At the end of the day, together is all we're going to have. I'm in. Get it out there, spread it any way you want to spread it. There's no real restrictions on it. The only thing I keep telling people is just keep in mind, allow me to still make a couple mistakes. I'm still trying to work through some of the issues. I never dreamed that I would grow up to, build a social media platform. So this wasn't really on my list, until they pissed me off.
Brother, I'll be honest with you. There's a great many things that I didn't realize I would be involved in. And frankly, if you ever told me even just 6 months ago that I would have any role whatsoever in trying to promote a platform like this, I mean, you guys just happen to be the first to the gun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys were the first. Like I often give this example that Sir Isaac Newton discovered calculus like a decade or more before Gauss did, but Gauss came to the market with it first, so he gets credit for discovering calculus.
Yeah.
In this case, there have been other people, bro. Like I said, I'm aware of probably 8 people that said they were working on this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate to disappoint y'all because what y'all got out there is easy to navigate for a Luddite like me, and it has every single thing I'd hoped I'd see on a platform like this.
Yeah.
Now, there was a couple of somebody mentioned something in here. Okay, it says I'm labeling canning jars and listening. Well, we had a canning jar shortage and canning lid shortage a little while ago. Tag, it just occurred to me looking at what's this S.J. Mullen. I'm labeling and canning jars and listening. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sure there's been a number of other people go by. It just occurred to me that when we had this canning jar or canning lid shortage that we were just in the middle of a little while ago, this could have been the consummate way for those of us in places that had plenty to perhaps trade with those that had little for maybe things they needed.
Yep.
Bro, this thing, like somebody else said in here, Chris White says, this thing is going to explode.
Mm-hmm.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. That's exactly what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping that we all get off these idiotic platforms with all these dopes that hate the bones of you. Why would I ever do business with them? Just like I said, there's not a whole lot of brown people like me that are in this farming space that have a wide YouTube presence. So everybody and their great grandmother, they're coming to me with their hats in their hand. Oh, hey, there's a seed company in town here I was telling the homesteading pastor about. I reached out to them a while ago. They had good seeds. And they're like, yeah, let's make a deal. And then they're like, oh, hang on, bro. You said a couple of things in some of your live front porch talk that we're going to have a fundamental problem with. If you pull those down, man, you could be our spokesman. And a lot of people would have jumped at this tag. And frankly, I looked at the offer and I'm like, okay, nice offer, but you people trying to muzzle me, I don't care what you offer. It ain't worth my freedom of speech. It is not worth my First Amendment. So I'm never going to do business with you people right now. Like right now, I am looking to do a project. Here's a prime example. And I'll put the clarion call out there. I'm looking to plant trees at the SOE compound. I've already put in the swales. And the next class we're going to do, we're talking about, okay, now that we put in our trees, what are the guilds that go along with it? Well, the tree company that was overwhelming, wanting to work with me, all of a sudden didn't want to work with me. And then all of a sudden they wanted to. And they're looking at the video content I put out there, and it's all about freedom. Now, all of a sudden, because if you listen to that company's answering machine tag, all of a sudden they've acquiesced. And if you listen to the woke comments that they have on there, they're probably thinking, oh, man, I ain't wanting nothing to do with this, Uncle Tom, which I'm sure is what they're calling me right now because I don't know that I'm a victim. Right. And the solution could be I go to this platform and say, look, y'all, I got this project over here at SOE. Anybody got some trees out there you want to sell? You got some bare root trees you want to sell? Or like this old boy that said something about or girl that said something about canning. Hey, y'all, I'm in a bind right now. I ain't got no canning lids. They could feasibly go to this platform and we do business with each other instead of these basket case wokey Wookiees out there. Just made that one up. These woke Wookiees out there, I guess, like Star Trek Wookiees out there. Instead of dealing with these people that feel like they got me by the short hairs, forget all that. I'm going to this platform. I'm doing business with y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry to monologue, homie.
No, you're good. You're good. I think a couple things that's interesting. You talked about the canning jar lids. What if we could harness the mass of freesteading and all of these communities and all of this to become, in the eye of Ball, one of their major users? because I could turn business into all of a sudden we're buying it at wholesale because of the mass, because I don't have another source to get it from. I mean, there's a lot of things. What if we took it international? I mean, there were some comments about that. Instead of just the state groups, let's start with an England group and a France group and a Spain group and an Australian group and let's start taking freesteaders community wise. And so there is a freesteaders, in England, and there's a freesteaders that begins to do the same thing. We just keep going and keep going, and we the people can stand up and say no more. None of the above. I ain't voting for you, jackasses. No more. I'm done. I'm taking it back, and it starts right here.
And like you said, what if we did? Okay, so within this community, what if you did? I mean, we attract enough butts to seats in this thing.
Yes.
Like you said with Ball, and folks, for my evangelical friends out there, he meant B-A-L-L, not B-A-A-L. Ball is who you're dealing with.
Right.
Pollock and all these other people are who you're dealing with in these lunatic platforms out there, like Facebook and all the others. The people that hate the bones of you, that would love to throw you and your kids into the fires of Moloch. But that's exactly what I'm talking about, Tag. I mean, this is why I am so freaking excited about every place this thing could possibly go. So all of a sudden, conceivably, could you conceive this? And maybe I'm just speaking out of school here. Okay, so maybe people at the freesteaders, if we get enough butts and seats there, maybe we do get some sponsors that roll in and say, hey, y'all, we give you 10% off. Let's say you want to buy a Kubota tractor. Or we get maybe some other people out there. Maybe it's Ball, like you said. Oh, you got this big whatever out there. You got this giant community. Maybe we'll break bread and allow you guys to knock a little bit off. So the things that we already buy right now,
That's right.
we could get a massive discount if we get enough butts and seats on this platform.
That's correct.
Is there a limit at this point to how many people that can sign up?
Nope.
So we could. So if 500,000 people signed up tonight, they'd have a home at Freesteaders.
They'd have a home at Freesteaders. We would not be pressing capacity.
Man, I got to say, bro, there's going to be invariably somebody that's going to say, okay, so what if the same thing happens to you that happened to some of these other platforms where they pulled the plug on them?
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, they just made up some lunatic reason. Are you prepared to deal with any of that right now? Or is there any way to deal with it?
Yeah, not really. The problem is even if you go so far as to buy your own servers, which offers another level of protection, at the end of the day, the powers that be, if they want to shut it down, they'll shut it down. But, and I've had a lot of people tell me this, what about that? Well, I'll be better for it. And I will have met a lot of great friends along the way. I mean, I'm not going to spend an ounce of my time worrying about the stuff I cannot control. And that's certainly one of them. I just can't, but I ain't worried about it. I'm not hiding. I'm not standing behind it. It's fine. Bring it on.
Well, Francis Green says, I bought 12 fruit trees here today. You know what? That's exactly what I'm talking about. So let's say you're a person out there that has a nursery. And instead of dealing with this woke nursery, which I'm pretty doggone sure they are woke, based on, just listen to the message they had on their answering machine. And instead of all these other people that want to do business because they think, oh, here's a brown guy that can promote this stuff. And then you want to tell me what I get to say? I got to take down videos off my platform? No, it ain't ever going to happen. Like I said, my freedom of speech, my First Amendment means more to me than any dollar you think you have over me. Yeah. Man, there's so many doggone people that have responded in here, and this thing ain't scrolling right. That's why I wish I had William in here right now. Is it called Freesteading or Freesteaders? Sorry. Sorry, I've been messing that up, y'all.
Yeah, Freesteading.
Freesteader Marketplace. Let's see who else we got in here. I'm doing, SJ says, I'm doing a happy dance. Do it. That's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Somebody says insurance. I'm not sure what the implication is with that. Excuse me. Cheryl Stark says, I signed up this morning. Thank you, Billy. No, thank you, because I know like Black's Tropical Homestead, I put out a thing on the community, which I haven't had a chance to respond to any of my comments yet, but they're on there. Really good YouTube channel doing good stuff. Let's see here. What else we got? Let me get on down here. Let's see here. Somebody says, I want to grow strawberries. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. You know what, y'all? We had a bumper crop of strawberries just in that little area that I got my food forest in. We stopped counting at, and by the way, if you don't know, with our permaculture design, our ground cover is strawberries. So our ground cover produced, we quit counting after 65 gallons in that small area down there. So it was more than we could use.
Mm-hmm.
So Tag, we had, once again, Renewed Homestead came over here. They filled up a 5-gallon bucket.
Yep.
What if there were other people in this community?
Yes.
65 gallons is more than I can eat.
Yes.
It's more than even that I can put away. Now, we managed to put them away, but we had some going rotten. So why couldn't I put the clarion call and say, hey, y'all, I got all these doggone strawberries over here. I'd rather y'all come get them than have them die on the vine.
Right.
It's right there.
Right. Right. I think also it's a way to extend the dollar. And I think this is a really important lesson in this. You know, I come from economics, right? And so you get paid $1, you go, the income tax will that they take 35 cents, you go to the grocery store, the gas station, you pay your personal property tax, you pay. By the time you're done, you've paid about 60% of your income. If you'd ever slow down enough to actually record how much taxes you pay, you've paid 60% of your income in. The other 40%, you go pay a guy who then gets to take 30%, blah, blah. By the time they get through 3 transactions or 3.5 transactions, they've gotten all the money back.
Bam.
Fact. So by doing business locally, by doing business the way we do, we get to extend that process. The ends they're still going to get it all at the end, but we get to go through 10 transactions, 30 transactions before it all goes to that. And I'm super excited about the economics of it.
Man, we got some really balling questions. Nate Kramer, my friend Nate over there, we'll be at his house doing a pig processing here before long. Nate was out here helping us. That's exactly another thing where Nate was over here helping us. Somebody else has a pig processing, because what I'm training out there, Tag, is butchers, to where somebody says, hey, man, I got these 2 pigs. Look, I ain't got money to spend, but I can trade you in meat, which is better than money.
Yep.
We could honestly do that through this platform.
Yes.
Here's something that somebody says here, Eric W. Man, sorry, y'all, if I missed so many of your questions, but go to freesteading.com and we'll get them answered. This one here says, and I want to get into what Nate's talking about because this is a pretty big thing. Are you able to see the comments on your end?
Yeah, I can see them. They're scrolling by pretty quick.
Okay, mine ain't scrolling because I don't know what I'm doing. But this one here says, how do you keep out the clickbait homesteading people out? I'll let you address that. But if you look at the ones that are currently involved, I don't know that if anybody accuses any of us in engaging in clickbait, well, I don't know. You got to show me where that happened, but go ahead and address that, Tag.
Yeah, well, I think there's 2 parts of this. So from a member perspective, right? I mean, I want to leave it as free and as open platform as I can. And I think, again, as we control the activity stream, as time wears on, and what I mean is you get to where you're seeing only the groups you're in, or only the forums you're talking about, or only the community leaders you're following. That'll keep a lot of it down. But there's another side to this, and Billy, you can talk about this. I mean, this is a Billy statement, you know, without putting words in your mouth. Is how do we vet the experts that they are real and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're living the life, so that the information that's going out is good quality information. And I think that's just something we got to work through. You know, there's a lot of this stuff is new to me. I've run a lot of businesses, but I've never run a social media platform. So
no, I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm not for censorship in any way, but I try to be more careful these days, because there are people in this world that are more polished than spit and more glitter than grit. And the cool thing about this platform is I'm perfectly okay with letting the market decide. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not a charlatan, so I'm willing to suffer any scrutiny anybody's willing to put me through. If I say I'm doing something, you can come here and see it for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, no, let me take that back. You ain't just going to roll up and build love. And with an invitation, you can roll up here. But that's what we promote on our YouTube channel. You know, I guess there's going to be some growing pains there. But at least I was encouraged by the people involved, because I know these people and I know they don't engage in that sort of clickbait thing. But I'm willing to let the market decide. I mean, this is a platform that's for serious homesteaders and people that might be thinking about homesteading, near as I can tell. So let's let the market decide. If you're into clickbait stuff, well, I guess you go to them. But if you're into, you know, what we do, permaculture and freedom-minded stuff, then I guess you'll gravitate to us. But I'm down with letting the market decide. Let's get into what Nate was talking about. This is Man, I didn't even think about this, man. Thank y'all so much for these wonderful comments. My buddy Nate Kramer over at the Kramer Life, like I said, he was here the other day helping out, helping us process some pigs over here, and we're going to be over his place here before long. So if anybody wants to know how to process pig, go to Nate's channel. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Nate, you need to get over here and sign up on Homesteading. I know Nate is cussing on the other side of this thing right now. I'm joking, Nate. Don't show up to Nate's house, y'all. But he says insurance was, let's see, at Permanent Pastures Farm, insurance was referring to health insurance, being able to buy at a group rate through freesteading at some point. Okay, never even thought about that. What do you got to say about that, Ted?
I know a lot about this. This is actually right up my professional wheelhouse. And there are things out there, an association that can qualify for some of those kinds of things. So structured for the purpose other than getting insurance, an association can acquire some of those benefits.
Okay. As far as, man, I didn't even think about that as far as the possibilities of having something. Or let me just back up a little bit, man. When I was still in the union, I'm still in the union. I'm just not working. It's not where I make my living. I remember there was this notion in Kansas City in the union I belonged to, where instead of just like the IBEW, the electricians local, there was this notion of maybe teaming up with the carpenters and teaming up with the pipe fitters, teaming up whatever, and all of us together could get this. We could have our own whatever insurance thing. If we had enough people on this thing, and let's say they were all local, because I'm involved in a farm group in Asheville where this has actually been brought up as well. So maybe if you're in South Carolina and you had a series of, I don't know, however many homesteaders that live in South Carolina, maybe something like that, a guild would be possible, because the notion there was for us to put whatever, and it was a ridiculous amount of money that we could hire our own. And I'm going, I know, way out in the limb here, but where we had so much money that we could hire a doctor, a general practitioner on staff, and then whatever specialty work could have been done in another way. But Tag, I guess what you're saying, and I better not go too far. I won't go any further down that road. So what you're saying in reference to what Nate was talking about as far as insurance at a group rate, is that a legitimate possibility down the road, possibly?
Yeah, we'd have to. There's some rules and stuff that go in there, right? Like the actual rules themselves. And I know a lot about this. This comes from my background before I decided to be a dirt farmer, right? That the group has to be formed for purposes other than insurance, right? So you'd have to figure out what is the purpose of the association. They would all have to be a paid member association, right? Or there is no association. You just have to work out the logistics of it. But I can tell you, coming from that background, that is absolutely possible.
So this is exactly what one of the forums could be on this platform, is figuring out this.
Well, I'm actually hoping that's what the forums are for a lot of things. I'd love to hear feedback on how to break those chains and how to be a little freer from everybody. I mean, together we're all smarter than just you and me. I promise. Yeah,
you got that right, man. With our collective wisdom, that's the advantage. I mean, it's like Ben Franklin said at the Second Constitutional Convention. You know, whenever you assemble a number of people to have the advantage of their joint wisdom, you inevitably assemble with these people all of their passions, their prejudices, their errors of opinion, their local interests, and selfish views. From such an assembly, can a perfect production be expected? No. But what Franklin went on to say is that it astonished him to see it arise so near to perfection as it did. So that's what I'm hoping, that within a platform like this. Yeah, folks, I got a lot of other useless trivia.
Billy, I think it's important that the audience knows too, and you can testify to this because you've been involved. As we're deciding how this grows and how it adapts, we're sitting around a virtual conference room with Billy and Danny and Green Dreams TV and Deb and Tag, and we're sitting around with the people involved in this. So the decisions are being made by homesteaders, by off-grid living people, by self-sufficiency people. We sit in a room and talk about these exact things. You and I were just in a meeting the other day.
Now, for the people just getting in, hit the thumbs up if you would, please. We need everybody to know about this. And if you have any questions, list them in here. Now, for the new people getting on board, they're going to wonder, okay, does it cost anything? I know we covered some of this before, but let's just kind of hit some of this stuff before. I want you to talk about the cost, because there is none. and also the benefits for the people that are new to this, that aren't going to have the time to go back and watch this from the very beginning. Can you just kind of give them a brief rundown of what all they can expect on this platform?
Yeah, well, freesteading, we're committed to keeping free. Right now, inside of the platform, there will be places where a marketplace, obviously, you don't get anything. You don't get to buy stuff for free. There's going to be VIP sections where there's content and stuff like that. Content creators, will be able to make a little living doing what they're doing. But it's going to remain free. The activity feed, which is the main focus of the site, was really modeled after Facebook. Works a lot like Facebook. The communities is all of these different communities. You could go and see Billy right now over there. He has a community inside the website, and you could talk the permaculture group there with Billy, and so does all the other community leaders. There's old school forums in every single one of them. So if we want to talk about what is the best way to X, we can create a forum that populates more and more and more and more and more and more things in there in order to help all of these people dreaming of living free and who are taking those steps to live free. They'll have a source right there with some great information. We have an events page. If you guys are aware of an event that's going on somewhere that helps people get together, we need to get it on there. We need to make sure everybody knows that it's going on so we can attend these kinds of things. Community leaders. So we're going to try to bring in the experts across the country. And one of the big topics we're going over right now is how do you vet them, right? How do you go through that process without tag flying all over the world every single day, which I'm not interested in doing. So we're kind of talking about that a little bit right there. Obviously, there's a profile. You can share what you want to share. Like, for example, the state. If you put in there that you're from Georgia, what that does is that allows other people searching for Georgia to find you. If you put in there that you're from Tatooine, right, no one's going to find you. Just saying.
Yeah, those Wookiees will.
Yeah, right. The Wookiees will.
Wookiees are going to find you on Tatooine or some of that Ice World stuff.
Right. What else? I mentioned the VIP section. That's being built. We actually have a meeting Tuesday that we're going to continue to talk about that. The roadmap, there's an app under construction. The marketplace is under construction. We will have the state pages out by the end of the week. This coming Sunday. So by the end, this next weekend, it'll all be built and we'll be out. So I think that kind of covered it. I think.
And I gotta say, bro, I'm and folks, I'm not being paid to say this. So, in fact, no, if you've seen the pattern over the last several weeks, I've been beating my head against the wall because I was wondering, I'm getting all these other YouTube channels on here that maybe you haven't heard of to give them exposure the way I wish somebody would have done for me when I was starting out.
Yeah. And
to get to know some of these people and let you know that they have things that are worthwhile, that are worth checking out, that maybe they got like I said, Two Old Crows Homestead made the best soap I ever put on this body. And y'all know I don't put just anything on this body. I might have to do a little Irish Spring commercial there. But the point being is I've been beating my head against the wall wondering, is somebody going to solve this problem? Because I don't have the wherewithal or the know-how. I'm pretty darn good at what I do, but I can barely operate this phone. And you guys told me you were working on this, but you know what? 8 other people told me they were working on it too. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see who gets to the finish line, and let's just see how stupid the platform is. Let's see if it works right. And I got to say, man, I was like, I told Danny yesterday when we were talking on the phone, I'm like, man, this thing could be paradigm changing. It really could. I'm not overstating it when I say where this thing could go, because if we want to do business with one another, and regardless of which side of the aisle you choose to be on, or if you're like me and you choose not to walk down either aisle, there's a home for you no matter what.
Yes.
But tag, I mean, the thing that, good night, man. The thing that's just flooring me right now is the notion of being able, with our numbers there, the discounts that you could potentially offer from things that
yeah,
is going to be extraordinary.
And this is right up my alley. I've been negotiating with companies my entire career, and I have connections all over the world. Right? I've just got to be able to create value for them. No, it's no different than creating value for the member that's coming in here. I can work some great deals probably. But here's the thing. I want to do that. This is another way to take it back, and I get to giggle along the way. The more the merrier.
That's what I'm talking about. And now all these woke companies, they might be singing a different tune when they find out, oh, you know what? Billy ain't got to go into Walmart anymore, or Tag doesn't have to go to Target, or, you know, I don't have to deal with these lunatics at Lowe's because I just picked up some boards from some old boy down the road who is, you know, just got a barn full of them. Maybe I go over there and barter, which it seems like I could have that option. Or maybe I give him some dead presidents. Or, you know what, you don't like that? Maybe I gave you some silver for it, or whatever you think is value. There's an exchange of value here. Or maybe you go out there and maybe, you know what, it wouldn't be the first time that William has exchanged. William got his first permaculture design certificate by bartering.
Mm-hmm.
I got
love it.
Probably 50 cubic yards of triple ground aged wood chips down there in my food forest in exchange for honey.
Right.
And that's handshake deals in a very narrow band that I see of people I've met. What on earth could open up to me if I had a platform like this? Man, I'm sorry, bro. I don't mean a monologue, but man, I'm telling you, this is the answer to everything I've been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks on this platform. So, folks, you better get loose or get lost, because at the end of the day, that's where it's at. And now, can you also Tag, as far as capabilities on there, I uploaded one of my videos to it just to see if it would work, and it worked beautifully. Will I just blacked out there for a second there. Will other people have the advantage of doing that? Will they have the advantage of being a post YouTube videos of their own, or?
Well, I hope they do.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're in the activity feed, if you want to copy and paste a link to your homestead or to whatever, let me know. You know, we're still trying to figure out the criteria for the community leaders, but yeah, you can absolutely, you know, just go in there and post away. And, you know, I wanted to say something back to one of your earlier points. Billy, imagine if we could have, from a business perspective, the nice and naughty list. What if we could vet which companies? I mean, you know, social credit scores work both ways.
Bam. Bam.
Leave it at that.
Oh my goodness, man. I swear I didn't even think of something like that. That's what I'm saying. The possibilities are unbelievable, because now all of us who are sick and tired of being marginalized, you know, we're sick and tired of doing that. Okay, well, this is the platform I've been begging somebody forever and a day. And you know what? Here's another great idea. My friends over at Black's Tropical Homestead, she said, one of them said, just share freestanding community on our community page. Bam, y'all, that's how it happens. So if you're in any other social media platform right now, I'm going to post this thing every single place I can. I'm going to ask William to do the same in that whatever Instagram. I don't even watch that thing, but I'm going to ask each and every one of you, y'all. I don't ask. There's only one time before I've ever come to you and I've asked for something, and that was when I was raising money for Vets for Child Rescue. And I told you that we had benefactors that would match dollar for dollar, and we did, and we gave the money. If you don't believe me, call them up and find out. Not only did we give that money, we gave a lot more that y'all don't know about. And I'm going to ask you this time. You receive not because you ask not. So I'm going to ask you. Look, y'all, let's try. I know this seems like a lofty thing, but name one thing that's ever been worthwhile that wasn't lofty. I want each and everybody out there to reach out to somebody you know, whether through your text, whether through your social media, whatever you have, smoke signal, for crying out loud. Tell everybody you know about what's going on over there. I'm asking you to do this. I am doing the same. I'm sending this, and I've sent this to everybody I know at this point. Well, actually, there's quite a few that I haven't yet, but I'm going to do that personally. The only way to make this happen, the only way to make this grow, the way to no longer feel marginalized in the world around you right now, is to evangelize the things that are going on, and it doesn't cost you anything. So let's do it. No matter which side of the platform you're on, if you're some woke Wookiee out there, go tell all the other woke Wookiees. Go to Tatooine, tell those folks.
By the way, there's been a request for a Wookiees Gotta Eat Too t-shirt. Just telling you. So we may need to put one of them out there.
There's a whole lot of shirts out there. If you're some Karl Rove loving neocon, okay, tell your people too. So
Yeah.
I'm dog the left as much as I do the right because I'm not with either one of y'all.
Yeah.
I'm a free man, just like his hat says.
Right.
And if you send me a hat, by the way, I'll wear it. I love that hat.
I'm bringing you one to Tennessee.
Okay, cool. You'll be at that Self-Reliance Festival.
Yeah.
So,
Are you
cool?
Does your wife want one too? I've got some pink ones and some gray ones, and will she wear it? I'll
Yeah,
bring her one.
man. Yeah, whether or
William?
not I can't even get her to wear the Tilly hat that she has, bro. But she doesn't want to mess up those locks. I can't get my son to let out. I guess he'll put out his hair or leave it all poofed up like that, and it creates his own shade. So look, y'all, I'm just going to tell you straight. Tell everybody you know.
Mhm.
Just like the soul brother over there, Black's Tropical Homestead said, tell everybody.
Yeah.
So you got shirts, like I've been telling y'all forever and a day. If you got a shirt, send it to me.
Mhm.
Well, instead of have a closet full of shirts out there, let's go to this community and let everybody know about what you're doing instead of the people I have. That's the beauty of this tag. Instead of having the audience that we have here, we could have the joint benefit of everybody's audience seeing this stuff, right?
Right. That's the key building block. That's the key.
So if somebody's out there selling, So if somebody's out there selling soap, or like here at the homestead, we don't have to live on it, but we sell bone sauce and comfrey, which, by the way, we have at the website. Yeah. That could be a combat multiplier from our standpoint. Let's say you carve spoons. You now have the benefit of my audience, Danny's audience, everybody else's audience out there, Black Tropical Homestead's audience, everybody out there that may potentially need your stuff.
Yes.
You now have it.
Yes. I mean, we're all living the same life. We might as well take advantage of it.
Brother, that's what I'm talking about, man. I guess I shouldn't belabor it at this point, brother, but is there anything else? We probably ought to, let me make sure we don't have any, everybody's questions out here, but Wookie's got to eat too.
Yeah, those are funny. I laughed at.
Woke Wookie's got to eat too, man. I guess maybe I'll put that on the shirt. I got a whole list of t-shirt ideas that maybe we ought to put out there. But that's another thing that can happen. Maybe get t-shirts for this site or whatever, man. I'm in.
Let's take it a step further. Let's get an on-demand printing company that's a patriot that loves what's going on to set up a store inside that we can send ideas to, where the idea comes to, people get paid a little bit of money, the t-shirts get made, all one place, boom. We're helping out a patriot. We're helping out another like-minded business. They're on the, nice list, and we'll kick the naughty ones off.
Brother, that's exactly what I'm talking about, man.
Easy.
Because now they're going to naturally want to, now if it's going to be some woke company, they're not by and large. If they're woke and they want to come here, fine. You know where the business is at. Like I said, I'm not willing to discriminate at the end of the day. Whoever you are, if you want to come into this platform, well, if people don't like you, they're not going to buy your stuff. If you don't match my values, I'm not going to buy your stuff. Or maybe you never even have access. But unless you're singing the right tune with all these people in here, if you're not talking homesteader, if you're not talking permaculture, if you're not talking preparedness, then maybe they're not even going to want to deal with people like us anyway. But if you come from any of those traditions, let's say, then maybe they're going to want to talk turkey with people like us, man. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Tammy says, now, I think she meant now. Now I totally want to be a part of this. Let's see here. Awesome stream is going. Awesome. The live stream is still going. Yeah, Cora, we're about to put the brakes on it because in spite of Tag, this is one of those things I don't want to end, but bro, nature calls and I got to get out here and feed these animals.
Yeah.
Because first and foremost, I'm a farmer. First and foremost. So is there anything else you want to no, I guess first and foremost, actually, I'm a follower of Jesus. So after that, everything else comes downhill. That's where I stand. So I want to make sure I encourage everybody out there. If you don't know my Lord and Savior, you're welcome to come on, because that's a platform that I welcome everybody to. So with that said, Tag, what would you like to leave everybody with here? Is there a...
Yeah, I think that, I think if it was easy, everybody'd do it. I think first and foremost, if you're a solar company, if you're a soap company, if you have a YouTube channel, if you're a homesteader, if you're trying to figure it out, guys, let's just come together. If there's something you think you can help with, tag and be at lifedonefree.com. You can reach me. I reply to 100% of emails. Sometimes it takes me a couple of days, but I'll get to all of them. Let's just come together. We'll figure it out. And I think through it all, this is, my channel, through it all, we can live a life done free. And what's more important than that? Because at the end of the day, we are not the minority. Don't listen to the BS.
Right.
Don't let them separate us anymore. We are not the minority. We are the majority. It's just we've been fooled and we're hiding in the shadows. And I think those days are over. For me, they are.
Sorry, bro. I think I muted myself there. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I hear you now.
Okay, man. Well, when you get me behind some of this tech stuff, man, I'm about to mess it all up. So, yeah, y'all. Tell everybody I'm gonna leave it right there, and I am going. In fact, every single video that I do from here on out, I know there's a lot I put in there because I try to promote events. And by the way, I promised Ben and Denise, if you want to know more details, I haven't yet put it up on freesteading.com, but I told them that I would go ahead and announce this event. If you want to go to it, it's going to be at the Toe River Campground in Burnsville. I'll be there. Pinball Preparedness will be there. Ben and Denise will be there from Renewed Homestead. And honestly, nobody's a rock star here. I know I ain't. And it's going to be, let's see here, it's 22 Patience Park Road, Burnsville, North Carolina. That's going to be on October 22nd. Now, you need to email them, and I don't yet have the email, but check it out. On that platform tag, I can put all that information, right?
Yes.
Right.
The city that never sleeps. I want that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of the things going on. And real quick, also, I want to tell y'all, excuse me, got Back to the Land coming up on September 23rd and 24th.
Yep.
1st and 2nd of October, Self-Reliance Festival. The day before that, on September 30th, I'll be doing the latest class there on guilds.
Don't forget, you got the Midwest Preparedness Project that same week, too, in Kansas.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, we got it. And see, that's another thing, Tag, where we keep stepping on each other with some of these events. Now we can coordinate. You see what I'm talking about? Dude, this is what's been burning me up because I was supposed to go to your conference up there, and I think I was talking to Bobby if we were going to process a sheep or a pig. Now I can't go because we didn't have a way to coordinate all these things. Now when everybody has an event or they're thinking about it, we could go in there with enough time to say, okay, you know what? Midwest Preparedness Conference is going on the same time as Self-Reliance. Let's figure out how we can work this out.
Yes.
Because I could have gone to both if they weren't on the same weekend. Yeah. You dig?
Yep.
So Farm Where You Live, that's going to be in South Carolina. That's on the 15th of October. But look, hey, y'all, instead of me going on forever and a day with this calendar I got here, there's a calendar right there at that site. So let's use it. Let's go in there. It's going to be some growing pains. We're going to figure it out. And if a Luddite like me can figure out a way to navigate this thing, you can too. So, hey, y'all, thank you so much. I know there's a bunch of comments in here I didn't get to, but folks, I really do. I got some work I got to do. So, with that said, Tag, thank you so much, man. I know there's so much you could be doing, but man, I thank you for accepting the invitation to come on here and explain exactly how this thing's going to go down, bro.
Yeah. Well, hey, and you know what? I will go on any channel, any video, anytime, as long as we're willing to talk about freedom, getting free, and sticking it to the man. I'm 100% in.
Well, I'm sure there's other YouTube channels in here that would love to have you come on there and speak about it. Tell everybody, folks. Yep. All right, y'all. So check us out at the Permaculture Pimpcast. Yes. We do this on a lighter note. And also check Tag out at Life Done Free. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Great content. And I'm going to keep pimping this thing out till the cows come home.
Me too.
I believe in this project. I believe in what they're doing. There's probably not going to be a single video out there. When I'm on board, y'all, I am on board. So unless these guys turn into lunatic communists overnight, I'm definitely on board. So thank you, everybody. I know there's a lot of things you could do on Sunday. I know we did this at an unusual time, but thank you so much. Blessings to you.